Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, and hello to my honeys, my lovelies, my beautiful royalties. Let's take that deep breath. Let's grab that scorching hot patty tea. If you like it cold, hold the ice because the ice is a hot mess in these streets. Oh, but the more I post on Patreon, the more I wonder. The more I have valid proof, why do so many men hang on their height or how many inches are in their pants? Why? For some men, that is all they have in life. And the thing is, they didn't even have to work for it. It's like a participation DNA like, no, your mommy plus your daddy made you. That's how you got your height. That's how you got the inches. Congratulations. It's like, and some of them don't even know how to use. Okay, never. Mm, mm. Let's just say inches don't say it. Yeah. Since some of you need to get the book using a certain amount of inches for dummies, because no matter what, even if you had GPS, you would never be able to find the G spot. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, don't forget to check out my Patreon because I have evidence for days for dating nightmares, river of racism, politics, the hate that we get on the right, even though the right tries to blame us. It's like, if you're having an issue with our attitude, if you want to talk like you grown, get ready to be smashed like your verb. Okay. We will verbally tear you apart. We got the education and the skills, and we don't need to swear to do it either. And that's why a lot of the great and amazing comedians are Democrat, and a lot of the ones that give up, quit, and go to Fox News are, or at least Republican type show. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, okay. So today is kind of a dating nightmare. I might go into politics, but it's majority. We're talking about jealousy. And how does that get into politics? The orange man got in office over jealousy. It wasn't to help anybody but himself, but his pockets, but it was about jealousy. And like each time he's been in office, like he wants participation trophies over and over, like even though he has not worked for any of these, and they just make them up just so that they can get some money and or some recognition or some benefits or some negotiations in a contract and things like that. Yeah. And I'm at the point where people complain about DEI, but right now we are witnessing the basic white man participation trophies right now. That's what we're watching, honeys, babies. That's what we're watching right now. Because literally, okay, there's a there's a guy who wants like a freedom type of prize, like, but yeah, yeah, he wants a peace prize, the freedom. But he literally started a war just so he can hide behind, like, or hide away from the Epstein files, and it's like, okay, that reminds, because I was on a pretty good streak with making sure I mention it on a few episodes, but I've skipped a few. My apologies. We need to get back on these Epstein files. I know we're fighting a war. I can't stand that. I can't stand all the people that passed away. I can't stand the veterans that passed away and sacrificed their lives for us. But then at the same time, it technically wasn't for us. But that's like, okay, we got other political people talking about that. But all of this is over jealousy. He still will never have the numbers of Obama. He won't. He won't. Right now, he's breaking records. Obama broke records, but the orange man's breaking records with the lowest numbers in history, and he is like historians have done, I think, the study twice, and out of two times he has been rated the worst president in American history. Joy. Yeah, but this all started because of jealousy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now he wants an arch and everything to be named after him. Everything. And he wants his face on money. And he wants his face on the like Mount Rushmore. Like, I mean, he wants his face everywhere because he knows he's done such a terrible basic job within this country that he will be forgotten, and or people will see him, they're like, oh, you mean that apprentice guy who, yeah, his ego got, burnt at the one congressional, like that lunch dinner thing, and so then he was just like, oh, I have to blah 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 whatever. Yeah, the same man who's called women piggy and dumb and low IQ, and also said black jobs, and that a group of, well, they don't say they're black, but it's like they said that people of color eat cats and dogs, and that even though 1 out of 4 people who work in retail live in poverty, he said that they love their job, they're happy with their jobs. He's not going to raise their, like, the pay or anything like that, or minimum wage. But then he's making like millions, even I think it was like 1.2 billion last year, something like that. Yeah, and he had like cheated people out of money with his Bitcoin, and then his wife has a Bitcoin, and his good old friends have Bitcoins, even pastors have Bitcoins. Yeah. But yeah, out of jealousy, this all started. Well, actually, racism and bigotry and jealousy. But a lot of people in this country right now, that's one reason why they couldn't wait to take away black people's votes, is because of jealousy, because now that things were becoming more fair and equal, and more black people and people of color, but yes, like they really, like, even some people of color hated that black people were starting to get ahead and getting like roles outside of sports and acting, and like things that, where a lot of them say that we are just dumb because we're black and stuff, so they don't think we can be CEOs, presidents, and corporate leaders and things like that. Yeah, yeah. So then some of them were like, hold up, wait a minute, no, let's drag this back, because yeah, white people, yeah, we're yeah, but even when it was time for the orange man to start, like, oh, okay, let's hire all these white people, the orange man said they weren't smart enough, and that they were going to need people from over in other countries to come over here. Yeah. It's really interesting, but it all started over jealousy. Oh, and yeah, I can't forget, even with the women thing, he said that he loves grabbing women by the, but then some of these women still, it's like, I wonder, I keep wondering, with the women who voted for him, especially all 3 times, if your son walked into the kitchen and said that, some of your sons probably do. And that's probably why your daughter in law is divorcing your son right now. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm talking about some of my exes. Like, some of them are as despicable and like narcissistic and pathetic and pitiful as him. So, but then some of these moms who voted for him, they don't know why all of their children's boyfriends and girlfriends or wives and husbands are leaving their kids. They don't know why. It's like they don't see the pattern that, well, yeah, person after person can't stand their kids. Mm-mm. Or they celebrate when it's like time for breakup or divorce. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to my other, like, yeah, because like that's a part 1, so I'm gonna do a part 2 on the other one. But while I was watching a K drama and everything, while getting my last episode ready, and I started thinking about all of the people who have tried to get me jealous over the years. And oh crap, this will probably be a two-parter. But sometimes I wonder how come I keep ending up being the person other people use for jealousy, either on purpose or by mistake. Usually it's on purpose. But I think with the current situation right now, I think it was by mistake. My poor baby. Oh, I cannot wait to drag this woman. She is absolutely horrible. But it's like, I don't think he expected the jealousy that has happened and developed and stuff. And part of me, I'm just like, hey, if she hates me now, let me just continue living my best life. And sometimes people with jealousy, they say so, like, because she's lied more times than the Republicans. Yeah, she didn't like I compared her to Pinocchio and the Orange Man. But yeah, it's like she's so just, oh yeah, it's so sad and pathetic and pitiful and poorly educated all at the same time. But she's like a lot of my exes. And so, okay, yeah, enough about that has been awful, terrible, despicable person. Okay, I'm gonna go down the list. Because I think I'm still shocked as I was watching what, like, I'm not, it's not done. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna start reading. Yes, like my honey got the book because he was listening to my episode. So I'm gonna be starting that novel. And I'm gonna be looking for other ones because on the other channel, I'm gonna try to do one or two books a month with talking about my candles and the greeting cards and getting the businesses officially together. I think I'll be ready, like officially ready by the fall, but I think I'm going to kind of have a pre-start in, I'm hoping by July, August. So, yeah. And I started I started the process of, and all of the formulating tonight. Oh my gosh. So, one step at a time. Small business, woman owned, black owned, and disability owned. Yes, okay. So here we go. Because let's go back all the way back to church. Remember when I dated that one guy? And whenever my dad said something, like whenever my dad said jump, he jumped, and I was like, no, no, dude, mm-mm. And just talking to him is like I saw, like, he's very sweet and everything, but long term, could I see myself with him? And even with our first date at the Alicia Keys concert, like, he had no time management. No time management. Like, he picked me up hours before the concert, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna my mom's gonna rebraid my hair, and we're gonna, like, we can watch a quick movie, and we can do this and that or whatever. I was like, he had me sitting in his basement for I don't know how many hours. And then I got upstairs. I remember someone invited me upstairs, I think, to talk to the mom. And his hair is unbraided, and I'm like, okay, so they're gonna start the process. And let's just say by the time we got to the concert, not one braid was in his hair. And I am still wondering, what in the world did they do for the entire time? And why was I in the basement all of that time? That it still does not make any sense to me. But anyways, like, A few months later, I was just like, yeah, this is not going to work out. So I broke up with him, and he didn't like it. And he still spoke to my mom and my sister. That really just, because part of me, I was like, that showed me a lot. Because I'm like, okay, if you like him more, then skip you. Like, I think that was around the same time I blocked my sister on Facebook, because whenever he called, like, they talked about me. And he asked her, "What am I up to? What am I doing?" And it's like, for some, like, he knew what I was doing. He would talk to me about some of my posts on Facebook, and I'm just like, how, like, what? And so I think I blocked him, but then I had to block her too. I did, and I don't regret it whatsoever. It's like the only reason I unblocked her was my mother forced me, and yeah, told me she was gonna kick me. Like, yeah, like, how many times has my mother told me she was gonna kick me out the house? I lost track. But so I broke up with him, and then my mom and my sister teamed up together to trick me to go on to that Little Bow Wow Romeo concert. But I didn't really listen to either of their music. I mean, it was like, if it was on MTV or whatever, like, while I'm like trying to listen to the artist I actually wanted to listen to, okay, yeah, whatever, whatever. But I wasn't just, yay, Romeo, no, yay, Big Butt, like, no, no. So, anyways, that frustrated me, because part of me, I'm like, okay, if I end up talking to him again down the road, fine, but you are not going to force me. It's like they did not know how upset and angry, and because I'm just like, how dare you? You are literally trying, like, at our church, they say you date to marry, and I don't see myself marrying this guy. But now you're like, my mom is trying to force me to marry this man only because that's the type of man she wished she married. And I stand by that, because there were a few times where she would say something, and I'm just like, or even a family member, or no, not even a family. There was one lady, um, I forgot. I have no idea what her name is, but we were walking around Alabama or whatever, and we met her, and she was like, yeah, she was supposed to marry our son, or marry my son or whatever. And I just remember my sister and I looked at each other like, what the? Like, okay. And then later on, we found a little bit about him, but I think my ex was similar to her ex, and I think she wished she married him and not, so. But anyway, my ex tried to make me jealous, because all of a sudden he jumped right into another relationship. And in the last episode, or in my last episode, they're not in order. It's going to be like episode 1 1, then 2 2 probably. But I found a few articles on jealousy, which kind of got me to this one. But wow, wow. Like, especially the power and things, and like the narcissism in it, because it was just like immediate. Like, part of me, I'm just like, oh, you already found someone? Okay, cool. And that's the funny thing. He was trying to get me jealous. And I was relieved. I was so happy and excited. I'm like, oh, he found someone. Yay. So now he's not going to bother me. Now he's not going to try to make me go to concerts. And he's not going to call my sister and my mom, trying to figure out ways to coerce me and make me go out with him again. Yay. And that got him more pissed. So then he broke up with her. And I'm just like, why'd he break up with her? And so then he dated this other woman. And then next thing you know, they got married really quickly. And I was like, yay. And then my mom threatened me that I had to meet his wife. And I'm like, why the crap I don't even want to see him again. Why do I have to see him and her? But I already told that part of the story. So go back and listen to that episode. But okay. So that's one example of people trying to get me jealous. And that, I'm not going to say I never get jealous, because I have gotten mad and jealous, especially when it was miscommunication and or when the guy says one thing and then turns around and does the complete opposite. Like, well, Tomas and Ben, I think those are two guys where I trusted them, I believed them. But then Tomas broke up with me because he said that he will never be able to live up to my standards or my goals and stuff like that or whatever. And then with Ben, he said that for a guy that looks like him and muscular and all this other stuff, women would have slept with him by now. And he was like, since I didn't sleep with him as quickly as I wanted to, then he was just like, bye, whatever. And he blamed my sister in a really odd way, but that just showed his superiority complex and stuff. Okay, now I have the hiccups, so I might have to pause. But okay, yeah, I've only named like one, but do you remember the one guy who, like, it was during COVID and he asked me out? We met, I mean, we matched, but I was still kind of like, I don't know if he's my type, especially after we started talking. I'm like, oh, this conversation. But his ex ran off with his kids one day, and I'm like, okay, don't you need to focus on that? But he seemed too interested in trying to get me out with him instead of like, okay, if your ex just ran off with your kids to Alabama all of a sudden, shouldn't you jump in a vehicle and go and get them? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But then, like, later on or whatever, like, we went on one kind of date. Yes, like, very unplanned. Go back and watch it. But then after that, it was a couple weeks later, he told me that if I didn't sleep with him by a certain time, he was going to sleep with his boss. And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess you're going to sleep with your boss. Oh, I really mean it. I'm going to sleep with her if you don't sleep with me. Okay, that's fine. I was like, I'm teaching my classes and I'm trying to like, yeah, I'm still working on the novel, but it's like my business plan and business plan totally changed and altered. So anyway, I was working on, oh, at first it was only one novel. Now it's three novels. So yeah, I was working on the original one novel. And yeah, I remember he did not like that. And he's like, instead of working on your novel, maybe you can, sprucing yourself up and get ready so you can, take care of me and my needs and my blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, no, you said you had your boss. Why don't you let her go and handle that? And so he did. And then he called me up and he was like, okay, so I did it. I'm like, okay, well, I hope you two live happily ever after. And then he got pissed off and he was like, no. He was like, you're not mad? I'm like, you told me what you were going to do because you were trying to force me to do something with you. Once I see a man's trying to do that, I lose all interest. I'm done. And so then he started, having attitude with me, saying I'm despicable and how I'm trash and how no one's going to want me. And I'm like, oh, congratulations. My mom has told me that so many times. I already knew that. Thank you. And so, oddly enough, like the very next year, almost exactly a year, he messages me and tells me he's engaged. And I'm like, why the crap are you telling me? I mean, I have not messaged this man one time. I did not acknowledge this man one time at all. Nothing. Not a text, not a call, not nothing. And so next thing I know, he's like, oh yeah, her name is this and she went to, like, she has this and she works here. And I'm like, why are you telling me all your girl's business? I don't care. And it's like, there was a pause. It was a long pause. And he was like, oh, I don't know. I just thought, and he was just like, yeah, you thought the wrong thing because I don't care. You threatened to sleep with your boss if I didn't sleep with you fast enough. I hardly know you, and our conversation, like I'm a sapia, like you, no, the quality of conversation was terrible, despicable, kind of. But anyway, it's just don't do like, especially if you're Gen Z. And oh my God, yeah, okay. Even if years later, if you're Gen A about to date, don't do that. That's stupid. And really, it's like, okay, jealousy is just part of, nature, part of especially hormones and all this other stuff. But it's like if one person doesn't want to be with you, if someone's going to like break up with you, it does hurt. But sometimes that allows someone better to come into your life. That allows you to learn more about yourself. Like, what did you love about them? What made you want to be in their company and things like that? So, yeah, make sure you don't get crazy just over, you know? So, okay, there was, and because even with, okay, because I'm going to share that because, yeah, there's going to be a part two, but with Tomas, the conversation was amazing. And I liked how he was honest with me that he was in prison at one point. That is when I used to be like, okay, like if they've been to prison, they can turn the other cheek or whatever and blah blah blah. They make mistakes, but then I was wrong. Yeah, after he ghosted me and I confronted him and everything, and then he even admitted that he was still doing the crimes that he went to prison for. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm so glad you broke up with me because I would have, like, if you ever try to get me caught up with that mess, no, 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 And with Ben, he would have probably cheated on me because if he's that, like, if we're literally going through COVID and I told, like, we talked and discussed, like, but then he went and backtracked and changed everything. It's like, okay, your communication skills are terrible. You don't mean what you say or say what you mean. And yeah, it was just to a point where I thought, especially with him being a nurse, a job where most women, I thought, I was like, okay, he has that gentle side, he has the compassionate and the empathetic side, but no, he's still a man, he's still horny, yeah, he's still thinking one track mind and whatever. So skip him. And yeah, now that when it comes to lock a key, I think he was trying to date me in order to get other women and to also to get other women jealous from dating me. It didn't make sense because he would date me and threaten me but then cheat on me. And so I think I need to talk to, like, yes, it's like I'm going to type it into AI, but I'm going to talk to a therapist that's going to be on kind of like Family Feud, one of the top 10, because why did he waste, like, why did he waste my time? It's like there are reasons why I ended up staying, but none of them were good. It was all toxic. It's like I was trying to stay away from my mother who couldn't stand me, didn't love me. And then here's a guy who didn't love me but forced me to stay around him because he needed some kind of feminine, like, affection and stuff like that, or he needed hugs and good job and did you steal something, he needed a mother figure. His mother died when he was young. I feel like he saw maybe like, and I think that's how he kind of started. I think, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it more and more, because there were times where the way that he just needed compassion, it was in a motherly way and it was really odd. But then all of a sudden, like, especially while he was under the influence. Oh, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.